Hello folks, welcome back to Tao Valley. It's the middle of July, I'm in central Portugal and it's roasting hot. Most of the physically intensive work that I was doing earlier in the year has been put off until later in the year when it's cooler. So I spend most of my days now sitting on these platforms, meditating, reading books, listening to the sounds of nature in this beautiful space next to this blessing of a river. It's also given me a chance to catch up on showing you some of the work that me and volunteers did earlier in the year. Those of you who follow my channel will be aware that I'm trying to turn this schistone building into a tiny house. And to do this, I've had to try and solve one major problem. This is a perfect demonstration of how, when there is little vegetation, how the water just washes all of the topsoil away. This hillside's a pretty large water catchment area. What happens when it's heavy rain is it will be coming down here, usually down this track, which you use to walk up to the top of the hill, but because there's no vegetation here, there's nothing to stop it. It'll leave shale in this part and then it will go off this direction. What we've done is the final measure to stop the water from getting to the house is install this driveway. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I knew anything about laying a driveway before we started this little mini project. However, what I do know a little bit about is water harvesting earthworks. And we use those earthworks in a way in which we direct water to where we want it to go. And specifically in this case, we want the water to go away from the schistone building. So that's where this driveway project began. Grading this slope, grading the slope in a way in which directs water away. And for that, I needed a man with a digger. Next was the delivery of the blocks and 6 cubic meters of sand.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Every bit of that goes well, one less thing we have to do there.
Exactly. Work smart, not hard.
Work smart. Oh my god. You didn't have to do that. More fun. Yeah. Look at that. Stop and start. Oh yeah. It's really satisfying.
So after the layer of sand had been levelled, we then began work on laying down the blocks. And actually in hindsight, this is mistake number 1. We didn't compress the sand before laying down each block, and that would have helped us reduce or minimise any kind of subsidence of blocks later on, which we're going to see later.
That one.
Okay.
Oh, that's so nice. And you can use maybe the. Yeah.
Perfect. I decided to go with this hexagonal shaped concrete block paving, kind of thing that you see in supermarkets, because it was €5 per square metre. I've got 75 square metres of driveway to fill, and the next cheapest option was about double that. So it made sense it's financially available to use this kind. At the very top part of this drive, we've created this ramp made out of clay, and it's curved. It also has a high point right here. When the water comes down from the hill, whereas it would normally have hit this point and gone off in the direction of the stone building, it's now going to hit this high point and go in one of two directions. Either this direction, off towards what will eventually be a terraced garden, or down the other side of the drive into a ditch. This is the result that we're looking for. A driveway that is leaning slightly away from the seastone building. And that driveway is like that all the way up. What happens when it rains? Water falls down and it'll flow in this direction, down this gully, bypassing the building so that it doesn't flood. As stated earlier, I want to be able to direct water to where I want it to go, and in this case, to a tree base on the opposite side of the driveway. So we're using this PVC pipe to collect the water and then funnel it off.
Go, let it rain. Cats and dogs. Amazing.
Very, very impressed.
By no means is this driveway the finished article. One thing that's important to help maintain the life of the driveway is to include some edging. But before I do that, I need to sort out the drainage trench around the side of the building. We excavated this channel around here. This slope, which was originally at the same height as the doorway, has now become really unstable. So I need to fit the drainage, build a retaining wall. The retaining wall comes up slightly higher than this level of the slope, so that the edging of the driveway has something to press against. There are a couple of slabs along this driveway which have subsided. One side's lifted up as a result of the vehicles going over. Again, what we should have done is compacted the sand before we laid the blocks down. And we can certainly tidy up the end of the driveway. You see how this concrete's all cracked. I need to do a proper finish on this because it looks ugly and obviously it's not going to last. Thinking of the better solution for the drain for sure. This is where all the dirt and debris is collected from flowing down the gully. So I guess at the end of the day I could say that this driveway could have been done better, sure. I've learned a lot of stuff as part of the result, as part of the process. But am I happy with the result? Absolutely. You see, it's not about producing this perfect bit of work. It's about providing us with a functional solution that provides access for the vehicles to get down off the lower part of the terrace where we have a lot of our activity, and also directing water away from this stone building so that it's habitable. I feel I've achieved both of them with this great driveway. Also, I think it looks great.